The massive holographic projection materialized above every major city on Earth simultaneously, its ethereal light casting an otherworldly glow across millions of upturned faces. The beings displayed in the projection bore a vague resemblance to humans, but their crystalline skin and towering height marked them as decidedly alien. Their leader, Supreme Overseer Tyrix of the Galactic Federation, gazed down at humanity with unconcealed disdain. Admiral Victoria Blackwood stood in the United Earth Defense Council's command center, her steel-gray eyes fixed on the tactical displays surrounding her. At 53, she had spent her entire career preparing Earth's defenses for this moment, though not quite like this. The aliens' arrival had bypassed every early warning system, their technology clearly far beyond current human capabilities. People of Earth, Axyrix's voice boomed through every communication device on the planet, automatically translated into all human languages. Your primitive civilization has been monitored for centuries. The Galactic Federation, rulers of 10,000 worlds, has deemed you unfit for self-governance. Submit to our authority, and your transition to a protectorate state will be peaceful. Resist and face extinction. Captain Marcus Rodriguez, Blackwood's tactical officer, approached with a data tablet. Admiral, we're detecting 300 ships entering the solar system. They're positioning themselves in a standard orbital blockade formation. But, he paused, frowning at the readings, they're maintaining significant distance from our defense platforms. Blackwood nodded slowly, her mind racing through possibilities. The aliens' caution was revealing. They clearly knew about Earth's defensive capabilities, but something about their deployment patterns seemed off. For a species claiming such technological superiority, their tactical approach appeared almost hesitant. "What's the status of Project Prometheus?" she asked, keeping her voice low. "Dr. Isabella Khan reports the quantum shield analysis is complete," Rodriguez replied. "The results are interesting. Their defensive technology relies heavily on predictable energy patterns. It's advanced, yes, but rigid, inflexible." The thin smile crossed Blackwood's face. If there was one thing humans excelled at, it was finding creative solutions to seemingly impossible problems. She turned to her communications officer, Lieutenant Hiroshi Tanaka. "Patch me through to all Earth Defense Forces, Priority Channel Alpha." The alien projection continued its list of demands, detailing how Earth's resources would be managed and its population controlled. Blackwood let them talk while she delivered her message to Earth's combined military forces. "This is Admiral Blackwood to all commands. Authorization code: Sierra, Echo Victor Echo November. Initiate Operation Thunderbolt. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Across the globe, military installations hummed to life. In underground bunkers, experimental weapons powered up. In orbital stations, gunners manned their posts. In submarine bases deep beneath the oceans, missile tubes opened silently. The Federation ships detected the sudden surge of activity. Axyrix's projection flickered as he received reports from his fleet. "Your primitive weapons cannot harm our shields," he declared, though a note of uncertainty had crept into his voice. "Submit now, or—" "This is humanity's response," Blackwood interrupted, her voice carrying the weight of every human who had ever dreamed of the stars. She nodded to Rodriguez. "Execute." Thousands of missiles launched simultaneously from every corner of the globe, their trajectories seemingly random and chaotic. The alien ship's shields flared to life, their defensive patterns optimized for conventional attacks. But these weren't conventional missiles. As the weapons approached, they split apart, each fragment containing a quantum resonance device developed from Dr. Khan's research. The aliens' rigid shield patterns, designed to repel straightforward energy attacks, couldn't adapt to the constantly shifting quantum frequencies. The first explosion lit up the sky like a new sun. Then another and another. Alien ships began to break formation, their perfect blockade dissolving into chaos. On tactical displays across Earth, Indicators showed shield failures cascading through the Federation fleet. Impossible. Hazarix's projection sputtered. Your technology. You couldn't have. You made 3 critical mistakes, Blackwood replied calmly. First, you assumed technological superiority meant tactical superiority. Second, you thought our defensive preparations were purely defensive. And third, she allowed herself a grim smile. You threatened our home. The holographic projection vanished as Tyrix's command ship took a direct hit. Across the solar system, Federation vessels began a hasty retreat, their carefully planned invasion turning into a rout. Several ships were abandoned by their crews, who transmitted desperate surrender signals. In the command center, Rodriguez looked up from his tactical display. Admiral, we're tracking multiple Federation ships going into faster-than-light travel. They're running. Blackwood nodded, but her expression remained serious. This was only the beginning. The Federation wouldn't take this defeat lightly. They would return, and in greater numbers. But humanity had proven something today, not just to the aliens, but to themselves. Send word to all commands, she ordered. First phase successful. Begin immediate recovery of alien technology, and prepare for phase 2. The real war is just beginning. As the sun set over a changed Earth, humanity stood united and unbowed. They had faced their first major extraterrestrial threat and emerged victorious. But in command centers and laboratories across the globe, preparations were already underway for the battles to come. The Federation had wanted to find out if humanity was ready for the galaxy. They were about to find out just how ready humanity could be. 3 months after humanity's shocking victory over the Federation's initial assault, Dr. Isabella Khan stood in her underground laboratory, surrounded by holographic projections of alien technology. The captured Federation vessels had proved to be a technological goldmine, but it was the prisoners who provided the most valuable information. The Federation's empire was built on subjugated species, many of whom were watching Earth's resistance with growing interest. The quantum resonance patterns are evolving, she explained to the holographic projection of Admiral Blackwood. The Federation's already adapting their shield technology. Our previous strategy won't work twice. How long until they return? Blackwood's projection asked, her face showing the strain of endless preparation. Based on their FTL capabilities and the nearest Federation stronghold, we have maybe 2 months. Isabella manipulated the holographic display, revealing complex energy patterns. But I found something in their neural interface technology. They network their ships together for better coordination, but it makes them vulnerable too. The laboratory's emergency lights suddenly flashed red. Isabella's assistant, Dr. Raj Sharma, burst into the room. We have a breach. Federation infiltration units. There. An explosion rocked the facility, cutting him off. Get the data out, Isabella shouted, initiating emergency protocols. She turned to Blackwood's projection. Admiral, they're here for the research. Protocol 0. Blackwood nodded grimly. Authorized. Good luck, Doctor. The hologram vanished as Isabella and Raj began the facility's scorched earth procedures. They had prepared for this. Federation spies had been detected on Earth, shapeshifters who could pass for human. But they hadn't expected such a bold attack. Through the security feeds, they watched as humanoid figures moved through the facility with inhuman grace. Their skin rippled and shifted, active camouflage technology making them nearly invisible. But Isabella smiled grimly. They had prepared for this too. Raj, initiate Protocol Medusa, she commanded, activating the hidden console. Throughout the facility, quantum resonance emitters powered up, not powerful enough to harm the infiltrators, but enough to disrupt their camouflage technology. The shapeshifters' forms became visible, their crystalline bodies similar to their Federation masters. Security teams moved in with specialized weapons developed from captured Federation technology. The infiltrators found themselves trapped, their technological advantages neutralized by human ingenuity and preparation. Meanwhile, across the globe, Similar scenes played out as Federation spy cells revealed themselves in a coordinated strike aimed at Earth's new defensive capabilities. But humanity had learned from their first encounter. They had been expecting this. In London, Commander Diana Torres led her special operations team through the streets, hunting infiltrators with advanced detection gear. In Moscow, resistance cells protected key research facilities. In Beijing, quantum disruption fields exposed hidden Federation agents. But the Federation's attack served another purpose. It confirmed Isabella's theories about their neural network technology. Each captured infiltrator carried a quantum entanglement device, linking them to the Federation's hive-mind communication system. Back in her lab, Isabella worked furiously to decrypt the captured devices. "It's like they're not even trying to hide it," she muttered to Raj. "Their entire command structure relies on this network. If we can access it, we could monitor their communications," Raj finished, his eyes widening. "Know their plans before they execute them. Better." Isabella's fingers flew over the holographic controls. "We could feed them false information, make them see what we want them to see." In the UED command center, Admiral Blackwood received Isabella's preliminary report with growing excitement. The Federation's greatest strength, their technological unity, could become their greatest weakness. "Begin Phase 3, she ordered her staff. "Contact all resistance cells. We're going to give the Federation exactly what they expect to see. A divided, frightened Earth preparing basic defenses. Meanwhile, we'll be building something they'll never expect." The next few weeks saw a flurry of activity as humanity prepared for the Federation's return. On the surface, cities built obvious bunkers and conventional defensive installations, all carefully designed to be seen by Federation spies. But deep underground and in hidden orbital facilities, the real work continued. Isabella's team worked around the clock, using the captured neural interfaces to create a massive deception network. When the Federation returned, they would see an Earth that matched their prejudices about primitive species, disorganized, technologically inferior, and ripe for conquest. They would never see the quantum weapon platforms being assembled in abandoned mining facilities on Mars. They wouldn't detect the stealth fleet being constructed in the asteroid belt, and they certainly wouldn't expect the network of quantum entanglement disruptors that would turn their neural network against them. Commander Torres' teams continued hunting the remaining infiltrators, but now they left some alive. Carefully selected ones who would report back exactly what the Resistance wanted the Federation to know. Each captured spy and each intercepted transmission added to the Federation's false confidence. 2 months after the infiltration attempt, orbital sensors detected a massive Federation fleet assembling at the edge of the solar system. But this time, Earth was ready. More than ready. "They think they're coming to crush a primitive resistance," Admiral Blackwood told her assembled commanders. "Instead, they're walking into history's greatest tactical deception. Humanity isn't just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting to free every species the Federation has enslaved." As the Federation fleet approached, humanity waited in the shadows they had carefully created. The real resistance was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Federation fleet filled the viewport of Admiral Blackwood's command center, their crystalline ships glittering like stars against the void. 5,000 vessels, the largest invasion force ever assembled in the sector. Supreme Overseer Galactic had returned with enough firepower to reduce Earth to ash. Or so they thought. "Status of Operation Phantom?" Blackwood asked, her voice steady despite the tension filling the command center. Lieutenant Tanaka consulted his quantum-linked display. "Dr. Khan confirms all systems are ready. The Federation's neural network is completely compromised. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see." Through the Federation's own surveillance systems, their commanders watched Earth's pitiful preparations. Primitive missile installations, basic energy shields, and disorganized defense forces. Everything their prejudices told them to expect from a lesser species. Fleet Commander Axyrix's voice echoed through the intercepted communications. "Begin the assault," Show these primitives the price of defiance. The Federation fleet moved forward in perfect formation, their neural network coordinating thousands of ships with machine-like precision. On Earth's surface, panic seemed to spread as defense forces scrambled to respond. But it was all an illusion. "They've crossed the quantum barrier," Dr. Khan reported from her facility on Mars, initiating Protocol Labyrinth. Deep within the Federation's neural network, hidden commands began to execute. The quantum entanglement disruptors activated, sending cascading waves of false data through their command and control systems. Suddenly, the Federation fleet saw threats that didn't exist. Phantom Earth ships appeared on their sensors, while real defense platforms remained invisible. Their perfect formation began to break as ships responded to imaginary attacks. "By the Founders," a Federation commander exclaimed, "they're everywhere. How did they build so many ships?" Hexurix watched in growing horror as his fleet scattered, firing at shadows. "Impossible. Their technology was primitive. We saw. You saw what we wanted you to see." Blackwood's voice cut through their communications. "Consider this humanity's counterpunch." Hidden platforms around Mars activated, launching waves of quantum-guided missiles. The real Earth fleet emerged from the asteroid belt, their stealth systems powered by reverse-engineered Federation technology. And on a dozen Federation-controlled worlds, resistance cells activated their own quantum disruptors, throwing their entire empire into chaos. Commander Torres led the first boarding action, her Special Forces team striking the Federation's command ships. Their neural interfaces, designed to coordinate their forces, now worked against them. Each captured ship added to the confusion spreading through their network. In her Mars facility, Isabella watched her quantum algorithms tear through the Federation's defenses. "Their entire command structure is collapsing," she reported. "The neural network is feeding back on itself. They can't tell what's real anymore." The Federation's mighty armada, pride of their empire, devolved into chaos. Ships fired on their own allies, unable to distinguish friend from foe. Some commanders, realizing they'd been deceived, attempted to shut down their neural interfaces, only to find themselves completely blind, their crews never trained to fight without the network's guidance. But humanity's true masterstroke came next. Through the compromised network, Isabella broadcast the truth about Earth's resistance to every Federation world and ship. The primitive humans had not only defeated their invasion force, they had turned the Federation's own technology against them. "This is Admiral Victoria Blackwood to all Federation forces," her message echoed through the chaos. "Your neural network is compromised. Your command structure is broken, but we're not here for conquest." The broadcast shifted, showing images of Earth's cities, laboratories, and people, not as the Federation's propaganda portrayed them, but as they truly were, a vibrant, innovative civilization that had outmaneuvered a technologically superior force. "We offer you a choice," Blackwood continued. "Surrender, and help us build something better than the Federation's empire of subjugation. Or retreat, and know that Earth's space will forever be closed to you." Across the sector, Federation ships began powering down their weapons. On occupied worlds, enslaved species watched in amazement as their overlord's invincible fleet was humbled by the very primitives they had dismissed. "Send word to the resistance cells on other worlds," Blackwood ordered. "Phase 4 begins now. We're not just defending Earth anymore. We're liberating the galaxy." As the Federation fleet retreated in disarray, leaving behind hundreds of surrendered vessels, humanity's true victory became clear. They had not just defeated an invasion, they had shattered the myth of Federation invincibility. In the aftermath, Ambassador Lai Chen prepared for humanity's first diplomatic mission to the Federation's former subject worlds. Earth would not replace the Federation as galactic rulers. Instead, they would help build a new alliance of free civilizations. The Federation's greatest mistake had been assuming that humanity's strength lay in their technology. They never understood that humans' true power came from their creativity, adaptability, and determination to forge their own path among the stars. As the sun set on Mars, Isabella watched the quantum network light up with messages from 1,000 worlds. The galaxy was changing, and humanity had struck the first spark of revolution. The real work was just beginning. Ambassador Lai Chen stood before the gathered representatives of 17 formerly subjugated species, the crystalline spires of New Alliance headquarters rising behind him on the liberated world of Centauri Prime. 6 months had passed since humanity's stunning victory over the Federation fleet, and the galaxy was transforming faster than anyone had predicted. The Federation didn't just control our worlds. Lai addressed the assembly, his words translated simultaneously by quantum interfaces developed by Dr. Khan's team. They controlled our future. They decided which technologies we could develop, which resources we could use, which dreams we could pursue. Today, we break those chains forever. In orbit above, Admiral Blackwood watched the proceedings from her new flagship, the UES Defiance. The vessel, a hybrid of human innovation and recovered Federation technology, represented everything the Resistance had achieved. But it also reminded her of the challenges ahead. Multiple Federation battle groups detected in the Orient sector, Captain Rodriguez reported. They're testing our defense networks, probing for weaknesses. Let them probe, Blackwood replied. Every scan they make shows them exactly what Isabella wants them to see. She turned to face the tactical display, where green dots represented liberated worlds and red showed remaining Federation strongholds. How goes the integration of the Arcturian defense fleet? Better than expected. Their ships are already equipped with our quantum disruption systems. Commander Torres reports their crews are adapting quickly to independent command protocols. The Federation's greatest weakness had proven to be their reliance on centralized control. Decades of neural network dependency had left their commanders unable to think creatively or act independently. The liberated species, in contrast, eagerly embraced humanity's emphasis on individual initiative and adaptive tactics. On Mars, Isabella and Raj had made another breakthrough. The captured Federation neural interfaces revealed more than just military communications. They contained the entire history of the Federation's rise to power. Look at this, Isabella explained to the gathered Resistance leadership via quantum link. The founders weren't the original architects of the Federation. They were its first victims. The neural network wasn't developed for efficiency. It was designed for control. The revelation sent shockwaves through the former Federation worlds. The very beings who claimed genetic and technological superiority were themselves pawns in a system designed to suppress independence and creativity. Commander Torres, now coordinating defense forces across 3 sectors, saw the immediate tactical implications. Their entire military doctrine is built on a lie. They don't coordinate because it's more effective. They coordinate because they can't function any other way. The Resistance used this knowledge to devastating effect. As more worlds declared independence, the Federation's responses became increasingly predictable. Their massive fleets, designed for overwhelming force, proved vulnerable to the hit-and-run tactics of smaller, more agile Resistance squadrons. But the greatest victory came not through military action, but through the spread of information. Using the Federation's own neural network, the Resistance broadcast the truth to every suppressed world. The Federation's technological superiority was a carefully maintained illusion. They didn't conquer the galaxy because they were more advanced, Lai explained to the Alliance Assembly. They conquered it by convincing everyone else to stop advancing, by making us believe we needed their guidance and control. The impact was immediate and irreversible. Centuries of carefully maintained psychological dominance began to crumble. Federation worlds that had never questioned their master's authority suddenly began to resist. The neural network, designed to maintain control, became a pathway for revolution. In her laboratory, Isabella worked to transform the technology of oppression into tools of liberation. The neural interfaces, stripped of their control protocols, became a galaxy-wide communication network for the Resistance. Federation quantum shields, once thought impenetrable, were revealed to be decades behind the potential of the technology. Their greatest crime wasn't conquest. She told Raj as they studied the modified interfaces. It was stopping the galaxy's natural development. Imagine where these species would be if they'd been free to innovate and grow. The alliance grew stronger each day, but Blackwood knew the war was far from over. The Federation's core worlds, hidden behind layers of defenses and deception, were preparing for a final stand. Their leaders, the mysterious founders, had maintained control for too long to surrender it easily. They'll try something desperate soon, she warned the Alliance Council. Their entire system of control is based on the myth of their superiority. We've exposed that myth, and cornered animals are the most dangerous. As if to prove her point, long-range sensors detected unusual activity in Federation space. They were gathering a fleet larger than any in their history, stripping defenses from their core worlds for one final attempt to crush the rebellion. But this time, the free worlds were ready. Humanity had shown them that true strength didn't come from technological superiority or central control. It came from the freedom to think, to innovate, and to fight for a better future. Let them come, Lai told the assembled representatives. They'll find that the galaxy they once controlled has learned to stand on its own. And this time, we stand together. As the Alliance prepared for the Federation's final assault, the stars themselves seemed to burn brighter. The age of submission was ending. The age of freedom had begun. The quantum sensors aboard the UES Defiance lit up like a supernova as the largest Federation fleet ever assembled dropped out of faster-than-light travel. 10,000 ships filled the space around the Arcturus system, their crystalline hulls reflecting the light of 3 suns. Behind them, a massive vessel emerged, the Founders' legendary command ship, never before seen outside their home system. Admiral Blackwood stood at the bridge's tactical center, surrounded by holographic displays showing Alliance forces moving into position. Humanity had prepared for this moment, but the sheer scale of the Federation's desperate gambit was breathtaking. All Alliance battle groups report ready, Captain Rodriguez announced. The Arcturians, Centaurians, and Rigelians are in position. Dr. Khan's quantum network is operational across all sectors. Through the quantum link, Isabella's voice came through clear and determined. Admiral, the Founders' command ship, its neural network signature is unlike anything we've seen. It's not just coordinating their fleet, it's changing them. On the tactical displays, the Federation ships began to move with impossible synchronization. Thousands of vessels merged into perfect geometric formations, their crews surrendering all individual thought to a single, overwhelming consciousness. By the stars, Ambassador Lai whispered from his observation post. The Founders aren't controlling their fleet, they're absorbing them. The truth of the Federation's origin clicked into place. The Founders weren't just conquerors who used neural technology for control. They were the neural network, a collective consciousness that had spent millennia absorbing other species into its hive mind, spreading across the galaxy like a virus of conformity. All ships, emergency protocol firewall, Blackwood commanded. Shut down all direct neural links. They're trying to hack our network. Commander Torres' voice crackled through conventional communications. Ground forces on all Alliance worlds confirm quantum shield activation. Whatever the Founders are, they won't take our minds. The Federation fleet attacked with perfect coordination, each ship moving as part of a single vast organism. But the Alliance was ready. Months of preparation had created a new kind of defense, a decentralized network of independent minds working together by choice, not compulsion. Now we know why they feared us so much. Isabella transmitted from her command center on Mars. Human unpredictability, our chaos, our freedom of thought. We're immune to their kind of control. We're a virus in their perfect system. The battle erupted across 3 star systems. Federation ships moved with machine precision, but Alliance vessels danced through their formations with creative unpredictability. Each captain made their own decisions, their tactics impossible for the hive mind to predict. On planet after planet, the populations that the Founders had tried to absorb fought back with newfound strength. The neural network that had once controlled them became a weapon of liberation, carrying the message of freedom faster than light across the galaxy. Their entire civilization is based on the extinction of individual consciousness, Lie realized, broadcasting to all Alliance worlds. They don't conquer species, they erase them, absorb them into their collective. That's why they needed us to submit willingly. Direct control risks preserving the individuality they're trying to destroy. In her Mars facility, Isabella made the final adjustments to humanity's ultimate weapon, not a device of destruction, but one of liberation. Admiral, quantum pulse generator ready. If my calculations are correct, this will disrupt their collective consciousness. But we'll only get one chance. Blackwood looked at the tactical display, where Alliance ships fought with desperate courage against the Founders' perfect formations. Everything humanity had learned about freedom, creativity, and individual worth had led to this moment. All ships, execute Operation Aurora, she commanded. Push them back to the focal point. The Alliance fleet began a coordinated retreat, drawing the Federation forces into a carefully prepared trap. The Founders, sensing victory, pressed their attack. Their massive command ship moved forward, its neural signal reaching out to absorb more minds into its collective. Now, Isabella, Blackwood ordered, let's remind them why individuality matters. The quantum pulse erupted from hidden generators across 3 star systems. The Federation's neural network, designed to enforce uniformity, became a conduit for chaos. Through their own perfect link, every absorbed consciousness suddenly remembered what it meant to be individual. The effect was catastrophic for the Founders' collective. Millions of suppressed minds erupted in simultaneous rebellion. Federation ships broke formation as their crews rediscovered free will. The massive command ship's crystalline surface cracked as the consciousness controlling it fractured under the assault of awakening minds. To all Federation forces, Blackwood broadcast on all frequencies. You are free. The Founders' control is broken. Choose your own path. The battle ended not with violence, but with awakening. Ship after ship powered down weapons as their crews emerged from millennia of mental slavery. The Founders' command ship, its controlling consciousness shattered, drifted powerless in space. In the days that followed, the true scope of the liberation became clear. The Founders hadn't just controlled the Federation. They had been absorbing and erasing species for countless generations. Now, those lost civilizations began to recover their identities, their histories, their right to choose their own future. 1 year later, Admiral Blackwood stood with Ambassador Lie, Commander Torres, and Dr. Khan in the new Alliance Assembly on Earth, representatives from 1,000 worlds, some newly awakened from the Founders' control, others emerging from hiding, gathered to sign the Galactic Charter of Rights. Its first article, written in every known language, read, "The fundamental right of all sentient beings is the freedom to think, to choose, and to dream. No technology, no power, and no authority may suppress this right." We didn't just save ourselves, Lie told the Assembly. We saved the galaxy from a fate worse than death, the death of individuality itself. As the Earth's sun set on the new era, humanity had proved something profound. In a universe that seemed to demand conformity and control, it was the chaotic, creative, rebellious human spirit that had preserved the light of freedom. The stars belonged to everyone now, and they would face whatever came next not as a controlled collective, but as a free alliance of unique minds, united by choice and strengthened by their differences. The dawn of true civilization had begun.